What's going on, people? Figure since I'm in here doing this, I'll make a quick video on it. I'm going to do an up and pour of some botworms from Anglin AI and then a 7.2 curly tail. So what I went ahead and did was added a bunch more glitter to this Junebug, and then I added some more black. So I'm going to set my hot plate on 105 degrees Celsius. Try to keep it around 200, 220 area. And then I want to make sure my plastic is between 320 315. You go much more than that, and all your glitter is going to sink to the bottom, which will be the tops of these worms. So, so anyway, I figured while I'm in here, I might as well just shoot you guys a quick video. So I had to clean up my bot worm mold because I had a bunch of worms in it. Some leftover remelts. Looks like Tempest with some purple in there as well. All sorts of flake. And then in this one, yeah, this is definitely Tempest with that fuchsia or no, flamingo glitter. It's like a laminate. So you can do laminates a lot more consistent or to your liking in one of these molds, which is nice. So these are other ones. But then again, you get flat bottoms. Well, these are kind of rounded off because I tend to overfill them a little bit, and I'll go back and hit it. So heat this up the rest of the way, see where we're at. Get my gloves on, and we'll attempt to pour. Hopefully not too shaky, and you guys can see what we're doing here. Oh, and I recommend the Dead on Plastics cups for pouring. It's amazing, the spout on it. Now they are thinner glass, so they will cool down faster and won't hold on to the heat as much. But you just pop it back in the microwave and heat your plastic back up. This will be the first time that I'm pouring. That was weird. I don't know when my GoPro shut off. But anyway, the first time pouring this Lure Works Pro plastisol. So it might be a little difficult with the camera in the way, but I'll stop making excuses and just pour them. So mainly just want to make sure I get the botworms filled in, and whatever's left over I'll probably put in those 7-inch curly tails. So around 325 should be enough to start. And this bait's pretty dark, so I don't know how much you're going to see all the glitter suspending anyway. So basically I hold it here and I put my finger here. Can get a little warm, but try to keep the shaking down. Oop, that was a mistake. But see, you can trim all that off pretty easily when you're done. Once it cools down, you can just pinch it on the ledge there, and then it will pretty much just come right off. And if you guys are just want to get into making your own baits, for the cheapest way you can go is get these open pour molds. I got most of these from Anglin AI. I think the bot worms, I want to say they're under $60 for each one. Probably cheaper than that. Who knows? I had too much coffee this morning and not enough food, I guess. Shaky. See if I can get you a better angle. It's starting to get a little cool. You see it gumming up. So I'm going to have to heat this back up to keep it from glopping out. That was really sloppy up there. That's embarrassing. But like I said, it can be cleaned off fairly easy. I didn't even think about doing this until I had it. I was cooking the plastic. I was shooting a slim swim and then a drop shot mini. So this is at 350, 360. So I'm going to pour these last four so you can see how the glitter goes to the top. When we demold them, you'll see it. I'm hitting the GoPro, hitting the tripod. Damn it. GoPro is way too low. Too close. It's taking the action cam to the next level and being all up in the action. Guess I got enough for this big worm. I can't see, the camera's in the way. It's like the harder you try not to shake, you shake harder. Might be able to get this last one. So if you don't have the base of this tail filled up and you keep pouring in the tail, a lot of it will run down into the body and leave the tail. Say you want a skinnier one, it's a good way of doing it. Heat follows heat. Gee, I just wanted to use this. I know it's all messy, but I guess we'll come back in a little bit so I can show you what we got out of this. So what I'll do now is I'll turn the heat down to about half, so probably around 50 degrees Celsius, and I'll let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then after that, I'll just shut the hot plate off, and by the time it cools down, we will have a pretty even cool down. So that way it doesn't shrink up too much and you get those concave beveled edges in there. I mean, it's not bad, but to me, I like to see a nice, either flat or a little bit of a round concave bottom on it. So anyway, peace. What's going on, people? I'm back a couple days later after I haven't been feeling well lately. Imagine that. So anyway, I'm gonna finish up this open pour video. That obviously is taking way too much time to do. But anyway, appreciate y'all coming back and checking out as I finish this up. So we're gonna get into taking these out of the open pour molds. You can see I made some mess. So when I have this stuff over the edge, what I end up doing is you'll have this edge along the mold. So I'll push straight down. It kind of cut that off, and then I'll pull away. You see that one piece came right off. So you want to make sure you push down first so that it can cut it. If it doesn't, you'll pull it out of the slot. And if you really wanted to, you can go back and heat this up with a heat gun, melt it back down, and it'll fill in all those edges again. So I did look these up on the website, and I was like, oh, I think they're under $60. Well, in fact, these were $33 a piece on Angling AI's website. The same with the 7-inch, 7.5-inch curly tails worms. I don't remember how much the shrimp molds are, but I did go ahead and pour a couple of these, and then I added that 8-bit baits interference violet color that I made to go on the bottom of the twisted guava from Did Spade. So just to mess around and to use it. Now, one thing I should have done is degas this before you pour it, because you will see all the little bubbles, especially after you reheat stuff. It tends to have a lot more bubbles in it. I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch all of this, but just showing you how easy it is to clean up when you make a pouring mistake. All right, so these are all now cleaned up enough to take off. And even afterwards, you can hit it with a heat gun and melt the little stuff that's on the edges and round it off and smooth it out. Same with getting your fingerprints out of it. You heat it up a little bit. So in these botworms, you could take them from either end. I tend to pull from the nose because the tail is a lot thinner. And just come right on out. That is pretty. And these actually sat in the mold for a couple days, which I generally don't do, but as long as you keep your molds clean, it'll keep them from sticking inside of there. If you get some scratches in the finish of the aluminum, the baits will tend to stick in certain areas. But if you go in lightly with some steel wool or uh, like a Scotch Brite pad and then clean them out. I clean them with just some Dawn dish detergent, lightly scrub them, and then let them dry. And once you heat them up, it'll bake off. But yeah, for $33, you can't beat that. You make 6 spot worms that work amazing in the water. So, show you how to clean up this. This one wasn't bad, but you can see all the bubbles in it though, especially in the violet. So, I just poured. Trying to do a laminate in the tail is pretty hard to do on this because it's so tiny. unless you're really, really precise, which I am not. So look for any areas, pinch it off, and then roll your finger in, and then you'll have your laminate color Junebug with the violet. I think it looks pretty damn good. So I love this worm. It works amazing in the water, especially like weightless Texas rigged. I've actually even used it on a drop shot, and it works pretty good. So pretty cool profile. And for $33, you kind of can't go wrong with that. So one of the more difficult ones to clean up was all this mess I made here. So you can see it's just blown out of the tail and over here in this section. It's the same thing. Just push down on it, dumb it. Before you push over, push down straight. And it comes right on off. And to get all the little plastic off your fingers, it helps to have a silicone mat. I'm using the one from 8-Bit Baits, and it'll just take it right off your finger when you push it on there. For this, I have a real big overrun, but as long as you push down hard enough, sometimes you can use your nail if you have it, but I don't have really any nails. So you saw that big old mess, pretty well cleaned up. Like if I was gonna give this to somebody or to sell this bait, I would hit it with a heat gun a little bit. So this is a little bit coming out the top. So you heat it up, you get it too hot, it's just going to push it right back off the side again. So I just hit it a little bit in order to get rid of these edges that I created. But so we just dig in here, and this is the straight Junebug pixie dust with black and a bunch of purple and teal flake. Looks pretty good in my opinion. So we get to the shrimps here. Now I poured a couple of these differently. So in the tail, we can see all the bubbles now, of course, but I wanted this tail to be all straight, the interference without any of the purple in it. And then I did some, mixed them, each one different, so I could see how I like the actual tail to look. But this is the same thing. Push down that corner. These ridges aren't as pronounced as the other molds, so sometimes you got to work it a little bit more. Make your thumb sore if you miss pour a lot. So you tend to try to get better at it. But as you saw when I was pouring it, I was shaky as can be. And then it didn't help. I had the tripod and camera and everything else in my way. Just a lot of things I'm not used to. So here I'll grab these by the tail. And that just simply looks amazing. I don't think these are not more than $40 for this mold either, but they put out some beautiful baits. See that nice line without any full bonding. So you can't peel them apart. If this is too cold when you put it in, that's why you leave it on the hot plate. Like I said, I keep it around 200 degrees, 210 degrees Fahrenheit for the molds, and then the plastic, I try to between 3 and 315, depending on the viscosity of it. But I think that looks pretty cool. Sometimes you got to push down pretty hard, especially when it's protruding out the top. that was pretty easy cleaning up on that one. You see this tail is not straight clear like this other one. I actually put a slight coat of the Junebug in there, and then I came back and hit the whole thing with the interference. So you see as I lay these down, completely different looking. And I'll show you one of these that I just did up into the spade area here with the Junebug, and then I went back on top with the interference. So as you can see, you just got the spade part of the tail there and the Junebug. Nice, this got more Junebug on it than through the body, as you can see the difference. But there's your 3 different tails on the shrimp mold. So I guess we'll just end this video at that, and I appreciate you guys checking out my stuff and hopefully feel better, good enough to start recording some other videos. I did come up with a new color build that I want to put out there. Well, new to me anyway, or I've never seen it. So I mean, everything's a reiteration off of another basic build, no matter what you do. So ain't nothing really that original anymore. And this is just sitting here is the Anixia crankbait that I painted. So if you guys want to go give that video a look, you see how I painted this crankbait. I didn't get into clear coating it, but I was thinking about doing another video on that if it showed any interest. So, but once again, I appreciate y'all checking out my shit, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.